Hi, I'm Justine Sullivan with Earth Day Network, and I'm here with Alexandra Villasenor, 13-year-old climate activist who has been striking outside of the UN headquarters in New York for the last 5 months now. Alexandra, it's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we're here today, the day after the Earth Day Network's 2019 Climate Leadership Gala, which brought together a bunch of luminaries across the arts, journalism, climate activism, of course, in the private sector. Alexandra was one of our awardees. You received our Youth Climate Leadership Award. Now, as I see it, you truly are a superhero. You are doing unbelievable, superhuman things, and at such a remarkably young age. So every superhero has an origin story. Tell us about yours. How did you first get involved? What inspired you to act, and what told you that striking was the way forward?
Yeah, I guess my origin story was I used to live in California. I moved to New York City this past August, but I was visiting family back in California around Thanksgiving, and that was when the Paradise Fire broke out. And so my hometown is only an hour away from Paradise, so we got a lot of the smoke. It was the worst air quality in the world at one point. And so I have asthma, and so for my health, my family had sent me back to New York City early. By that point, I was really upset, and I made the connection that climate change is fueling California's wildfires. So I started paying attention to big events like COP24, and I was expecting world leaders to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 50%. And when they didn't come to an agreement, I saw Greta Thunberg speak, and I saw her call to action, and I realized that I should go take that out. I should go strike at the United Nations headquarters, and striking is the best way to put pressure on world leaders to take climate action.
I completely agree. So let's take a step back and unpack some things here, because you've delved into a lot of issues that probably our audiences aren't fully aware of. But essentially, last year, an international body of scientists came together to issue a special report on the state of the climate, and it found that to avoid the most devastating impacts of climate change, we need to keep global warming to below 1.5 degrees, which means that we need to cut our current emissions in half. We need to cut our trajectory in half in the next 11 years. So this is where you're getting your figures from, right? This is where your demands are based out of. It's truly based in the science.
Yeah, you have to listen to the science and the facts, because climate change isn't an opinion.
Amen. And it's interesting you talk about COP24. You know, this is a UN climate conference that happens every year. And this is coming just a few years after the adoption of the Paris Agreement. This is a historic international agreement. Every country in the world has committed to reducing their greenhouse gas emissions to fight climate change. But you're exactly right. We haven't seen the kind of commitment or level of ambition that it's going to take to reach those targets, to meet those scientific mandates as issued by scientists in the 1.5 degree report. So why did you pick the UN? What is it about the UN headquarters or calling out heads of state that you think is so integral to driving home your message?
I chose the United Nations headquarters because it's where the whole world comes together. It's where world leaders come to make big decisions, and climate change is going to be a global issue, and we need to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions.
So you're 13, you're making us all look very bad, and you're going to make us look even worse when I tell you that Alexandra recently launched her own nonprofit. She's the founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Earth Uprising. It just recently launched, but tell us what you can about it. What are your plans for the future? How can people get involved?
Yeah, Earth Uprising's main goal is to educate young people on climate change, to mobilize them to take direct actions, and maybe striking or other types of direct actions, because I found when students are educated and when they know what they're fighting for, it's easier to mobilize young people.
100%. It's all about education, it's about informing action, and then inspiring people to take action.